cannot see how this would lead to anything other than a full confession from the government about the military's involvement in his assassination. But I'm just going to deliver the facts and see where they land. There are sort of smoking guns in this that are missing, right?
Again, you heard her. Oh, I don't see any way the U.S. military isn't now complicitly involved. Oh, we didn't say that. We never said that. Just asking questions. Why would you do something like this, knowing it's going to discredit an investigation of the real help that Tulsi Gabbard said a foreign government was involved and they had evidence? That's been killed by Patel. That's what we need to be focusing on. That's the head of the Office of National Intelligence. Instead, she said this, she believes this is all good. Then she has him on days later and he says, oh, by the way, Erica Kirk was there too. And then Candace says, oh, well, here's another person. Was he there? Oh, he was there too. Well, I guess, I mean, and I'm supposed to sit here and take this and like sign on to say, well, whatever she says, A-okay.
After everything that we've learned about MK Ultra, everything we learned about Operation Fast and the Furious, everything we learned about Obama drone striking American citizens on foreign soil without a warrant. I mean, the list goes on and on. The JFK, the MLK, the RFK assassination. You attacking Candace Owens, the only person asking questions, even if they're wrong, even if she has a bad theory. What the fuck does it matter, Alex? You don't have better shit to cover. You don't have anything else to talk about. Like, you're the one who started this war. You're the one who started all of this nonsense. And like, nobody cares about whatever the fuck you're presenting, right? We don't. Honestly, I don't. Anyways, I want questions answered.
All right, that's good. Let's stop there. So because we've been lied to in the past, and there's a cash shell cover-up, which I first exposed, that's a real dangerous thing to do, then we're supposed to believe whatever she says and blaming innocent people and discrediting the whole thing. And I started the war. I wouldn't investigate these incredible claims. Was it really this Fort Huachuca? Was this really all this stuff? And it wasn't true. And so I'm supposed to just, well, we don't trust the system, so we'll just believe whatever a talk show host says. That is the most immoral, morally bankrupt garbage you could ever see. It's crazy. You did this. I nicely questioned the planes. I'm a demon. I said, you better watch out. This guy's a kook on this Huachuca thing. Oh, you work for the Mossad. And now you've got, no one cares. You're saying, oh, you're discredited. Oh, no one cares. Yeah, let's see where we are in a couple years here, bro. About $1 for every time I was told I was finished, I'd be a trillionaire. You're a fool. So just fill your hand. Enjoy yourself. Paul Watson, our reporter, basically discovered Candace Owens, did big interviews with her. She blew up. She was a Democrat. She was a liberal. She was putting out a website to dox conservatives. The left was harassing her and terrorizing her, acting like it was white supremacist to manipulate her. She found out about it. She woke up, and she became a conservative. We had her here one of her first big interviews. I think she's done a great job over the years. I have nothing against Candace Owens. But in the last 2-3 weeks, 2.5 weeks or so, something happened that is a clear moral line for me. And that was she was putting out these stories about Egyptian planes. So we went out and got the data and actually had the airline experts check it. It wasn't accurate. She's basically partially had to admit that. But I said, okay, well, she's going to publish her proof later. That's fine. Then she said there was this Fort Huachuca meeting where you got a congressman and the head of TPUSA security, and then later the guy saying this says Erica Kirk. And I was like, did you go check where they were? Well, you go to C-SPAN. There's the congressman at 11 a.m. That's 8 a.m. when the meeting's supposedly happening in Fort Huachuca, Arizona time. We put it out, and her people come out and say, oh, here he is on C-SPAN at 2:45, and he wasn't on the, he didn't do the roll call till a few hours. He's on the video. He was there. And now they've had to admit that. And then they've had to admit that the head of TPUSA security was on an airplane then out of Dallas. And it goes on and on. So I was simply saying a week and a half ago to Candace, I think you're a good person. This Mitch Snow guy, we've already pulled up his background. He's super bad. This is going to come out very soon. You just met with Erica Kirk a few days before then in Nashville on that Monday. What are you doing? Okay? Look, Kash Patel, I broke on September 16th from my White House sources in the cabinet meeting, was yelling at Tulsi Gabbard saying, do not get involved in my intelligence. I don't want to hear about foreign involvement. I want to hear about accomplices. And a month later, came out in the news, told you the truth. Of course, that was real. And the White House sources told me because they said, we're scared, we're giving it to you. It's not like I'm special. I'm just crazy enough to put this stuff out. Just like Patrick Byrne. So that's what happened here. And so I'm not saying don't investigate. I'm not saying I buy the official story. I've been saying day one, I think it's fishy. But you can't then say Fort Huachuca and all this. And Candace does this thing too. We've got the compilations if she wants to go there. where I never said TPUSA was involved. I never said they're involved. And we have dozens of clips of them basically saying it, then saying they didn't say it. Or saying, I never said the U.S. military was involved. It's the French, it's the Israelis, it's the Egyptians, it's the TPUSA security, it's all these groups. That's not how these operations work when they do happen. Super compartmentalized. And we're going to believe in a secure skiff at Fort Huachuca. This guy just gets in there, and here's the 12 colonels and all of them, and he sees all these people and remembers more people. And then Candace last week said, oh, this guy at Daily Wire, did you see him? He goes, I did see him too. So she just sends him pictures. Was he here? Oh, he was there too. So it's not as if it's a Daily Wire. It's the Mossad operation. We've exposed him. The point is these groups fight with each other. I believe we're all part of the same deep state trying to create a clash. I don't know if she's being handled or if she's part of it. She's married to this British lord and all this other stuff. She's boosted on YouTube. I'm banned on there. I never worked for the Mossad operation Daily Wire. They're all accusing me because Laura Loomer was on the show and I talked to her on the phone and she said, oh, she told me about her. I didn't remember that conversation. She was telling me they were like work for Qatar. I didn't agree with her. I was trying to convince her it wasn't the case. I said, maybe British intelligence, not Tucker, but her. So they use that to say, oh, look, he got the call. His handler's Laura Loomer. Give me a break. No, more like the Easter Bunny. So that's what they throw at me when I do this. And now I saw a bunch of her surrogates, a bunch of her ring wraiths, a bunch of her priesthood saying, hey, Alex, we don't care if she's accurate. We're taking down TPUSA. And I know the inside baseball from Charlie, all the stuff they've got, haven't released yet, but they brought her 2 Mondays ago and said, you want this out? What Charlie really thought about you? And how it was on the website, you weren't part of it 2 years ago? And how you're milking this and all this other stuff? And so they brought her this stuff, and they brought her the where people were and all the rest of it. And she's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And then 2 days later, has this guy on who they're releasing all his records, his real name, his family, his kids are coming on, adults that are Army veterans. I mean, this is going to be devastating, ladies and gentlemen. And I tried to get Candace not to go there. Because my listeners, everybody's like, whoa, Fort Huachuca, the plan to kill us. It doesn't make sense. None of those things happen. I said, let me go look. So then we start checking, and here's everybody's, oh, here's their plane tickets. Here's their stubs. Here's their info. Here they are on C-SPAN. And so I'm like, oh, well, Candace must be being misled by this guy. Hey, watch out, Candace. They go, ooh, that's a threat. No, I'm a straight talker. Watch out. You're being set up. So there's a concerted effort all over the place to take down TPUSA. It's got 2.5 million people registered to vote in the last election. They are totally pissed off at it. It doesn't mean it's above reproach. Doesn't mean it should be investigated. Doesn't mean I don't have some issues with them. But I will not sit there. I notice Candace's camp followers are like, you'll be discredited. We'll come after you. We'll do this and that. You're unpopular doing this. I don't give a rat's ass. I've never done something because I believe it'll make me popular. I'd have taken the money from the globalists decades ago if I was to do that. You got the wrong guy. Yeah, look at Candace. France, Israeli, Australia, the Daily Wire, PragerU, Turning Point USA, Alex Jones, Christian influencers, entire mainstream media, APAC, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Big Pharma in Hollywood versus you. Yeah, right. You position yourself perfectly to always be the victim. How about MI6? How about your husband? How about Keir Starmer waging war against Trump and Elon Musk? How are they doing? No, you changed the subject. You said there was a meeting at Fort Huachuca with all these people that have been proven to be somewhere else. What about the congressman from Nevada? Amadai, not even involved in all this. Doesn't even know these people. And he's in there, you just made him this. And we're like, hey, this isn't right. He's on C-SPAN. He's voting. And you're like, oh, the whole world against you. Well, you're the one out there claiming you know how it all works. And then she says, and our people say, I never really said the military was involved. I never said this meeting was about killing him. What the hell? That's what you've all said. So just stop lying to us. Stop talking to us like we're like this. The Democrats said they were going to kill him. They said they were going to kill him beforehand. They celebrated killing him. They had a guy up front saying, oh, I shot him as a diversion so the guy could get away. You have the shooter wearing his trans tie and looking all excited and proud of himself when he's in the hearing. I'm not saying he didn't have help. I'm not saying there can be other shooters. Because Kash Patel's covering up, I don't know what that is. But just because there's a cover-up doesn't mean you can then say, Fort Huachuca, and I saw Candace Owens there. It's the same level of lunacy here. So here she is saying she just can't see how it is in the U.S. military now because this guy told her so. We're like, watch out, watch out. We were being nice back then. And now everybody in the world's against her. That's right. Her against the world. And then we'll go to Ryan Matta, who does this anti-human trafficking. Had him as a guest, been nice to him. says all this mean stuff, says things about me that aren't true. I talked about this yesterday because I've seen a bunch of them doing this. They're like, oh, yeah, that's not true. He's like, hey, we don't care if she's wrong. We're sick of TPUSA. This is their standard thing. Like, end justifies the means. So here's the clip of him saying that. And then, again, them running around all trying to deny these alibis. Now the alibi's been proven. Oh, well, we don't care. Oh, this guy just said that. She was vetting it. She wasn't sure. No, she said she was sure over and over again. Here's a clip of her.
Well, what I'm about to tell you guys today is going to positively blow your mind. I just cannot see how this would lead to anything other than a full confession from the government about the military's involvement in his assassination, but I'm just going to deliver the facts and see where they land. There are sort of smoking guns in this that are missing, right? It's one thing to point out all the lies, but we need to also have solid, concrete proof of something that took place that was out of the ordinary in the days leading up, maybe, I don't know, a planning session. Well, I got back home after this very intentional prayer, and don't tell me why. I don't know what came over me, but maybe it was this intentional prayer. The person I spoke with, his name is, or was, Harry, and he told me a story which I have since fact-checked various elements that I could fact-check, and it's legit. This is a legit story that I'm about to share with you. And I want to say before I relay it that the descriptions of the people are based off of his own memory, but the facts pertaining to where he was, whether he was where he says he was, for the reasons that he says that he was there, he is being honest. Okay. I can tell you that he's being 100% honest. Now he says, to me, communicated this to me very clearly, because I know how these meetings work. These are the meetings that are had, ahead of an operation. Like when an operation is being confirmed, you have these final meetings and they involve all the higher ups, and you are trying to do this in a very isolated location, where, people are not going to accidentally happen upon you because they've got something to say about what happened 35 years ago. And he happens to walk in at the exact time that they are concluding a meeting. And he is kind of even more impressed because he sees about 12 lieutenant colonels. And then he sees 3 men walk out, and he said, certain that the person that is with him is Brian Harpel. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's about to get even more interesting. So, and again, I'm going to say allegedly because I wasn't there, but I have spoken to this guy, and I very much trust what he is saying. I think he is very credible. Okay.
Harry. Well, 3 names on our show? Oh, we know his real name is coming out today. None of those. We have the records, all of it. We're going to let other folks that broke that break it. But, again, you heard her. Oh, I don't see any way the U.S. military isn't now complicitly involved. Oh, we didn't say that. We never said that. Just asking questions. Why would you do something like this, knowing it's going to discredit an investigation of the real help that Tulsi Gabbard said a foreign government was involved in? They had evidence. That's been killed by Patel. That's what we need to be focusing on. That's the head of the Office of National Intelligence. Instead, she said this, she believes this is all good. Then she has him on days later, and he says, oh, by the way, Erica Kirk was there too. And then Candace says, oh, well, here's another person. Was he there? Oh, he was there too. Well, I guess, I mean, and I'm supposed to sit here and take this and like sign on to say, well, whatever she says, A-OK. And the planes thing, 66% of the time, the planes weren't even on this continent, she said they were. Oh, but she's going to publish all the proof soon. She'll have a special website. Well, I'm not going to hold my breath, Cupcake. So you're under a spotlight now. Because if you actually watch her show, all it does is undermine Trump. And you got this whole constellation of people claiming they're patriots, and all they do is attack. They never talk about the left or the global stream of this. And her show now is loved by the left, boosted by YouTube, boosted by the media, boosted by it all. So let's go to Ryan Matta. You want an example? There's many of these. Go ahead and challenge me, folks. I'll play more tomorrow. Saying, hey, we don't care whether it's right or not. We're going with it. These guys said, they're all the same talking points. Like last week they said, Alex, you're tone deaf. People don't, you're not reading the room. They don't like what you're saying. This is unpopular. You think I give a damn what's popular? I set the trends. I don't follow them. I lost 170 radio stations, some of them the biggest in the biggest cities, after 9/11 for pointing out there were bombs in the building, having firefighters and police on. You think I give a rat's ass? You think I care about you little people? Yeah. No, you're bottom feeders. And so you just spew your Mossad crap and all that BS, and Laura Loomer joining in to hijack it and say like she's telling what to say. Very suspect right there. Absolutely ridiculous. She was sending me messages after she was a guest on about a coup at the Pentagon plan, about, oh, Tucker's Qatari and all this. So I called her and said, what's the proof? Had a discussion with her. That turns into I'm working for her. That's all you got. No, don't change the subject from, oh, he was at Fort Huachuca, you claim in some letter you sent, to all these people are there. I could go to a Walmart parking lot tonight and say I saw Santa Claus screwing reindeer. If I don't have video or proof, it didn't happen. And I'm like, hey, I got metadata. I was at the Walmart parking lot in North Austin today. And you're like, you said you saw Santa Claus screwing reindeer. Or you saw the Easter Bunny playing a organ. It isn't that I can prove I went to Walmart parking lot. Show me the Easter Bunny screwing Santa Claus. Got it? Yeah, don't change the subjects here. You said a bunch of innocent people were at this base, and they've all got proof alibis, and now you want to change the subject. Oh, he was at Fort Huachuca. You suppose. Now he's got 4 names. Go to Ryan Madden.
Alex Jones is crashing out so hard right now. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around. Like, I think he, again, I tried to warn him that he's just not reading the room. And by reading the room, I mean, you just don't understand, right? It's after everything that we've learned about MK Ultra, everything we learned about Operation Fast and the Furious, everything we learned about Obama drone striking American citizens on foreign soil without a warrant. I mean, the list goes on and on. The JFK, the MLK, the RFK assassination. You attacking Candace Owens, the only person asking questions, even if they're wrong, even if she has a bad theory. What the fuck does it matter, Alex? Like, you don't have better shit to cover. You don't have anything else to talk about. Like, you're the one who started this war. You're the one who started all of this nonsense. And like, nobody cares about whatever the fuck you're presenting, right? We don't. Honestly, I don't. Anyways, I want questions answered.
All right, that's good. We'll stop there. So because we've been lied to in the past, and there's a cash shell cover-up, which I first exposed, that's a real dangerous thing to do, then we're supposed to believe whatever she says and blaming innocent people and discrediting the whole thing. And I started the war. I wouldn't investigate these incredible claims. Was it really this Fort Huachuca? Was this really all this stuff? And it wasn't true. And so I'm supposed to just, well, we don't trust the system, so we'll just believe whatever a talk show host says. That is the most immoral, morally bankrupt garbage you could ever see. It's crazy. You did this. I nicely questioned the planes. I'm a demon. I said, you better watch out. This guy's a kook on this Huachuca thing. Oh, you're working for the Mossad. And now you've got, no one cares. You're saying, oh, you're discredited. Oh, no one cares. Yeah, let's see where we are in a couple years here, bro. About $1 every time I was told I was finished, I'd be a trillionaire. You're a fool. So just fill your hand. Enjoy yourself. Now, Patrick Byrne's going to break real, bona fide, massive intel. This isn't vagaries. This isn't hyperbole. This isn't made up Fort Huachuca crap. This is the receipts on massive Venezuelan penetration of the White House at the highest levels. And this is dangerous. When the White House source called me and I checked with another, they said, yeah, we got Patel came to the meeting, here's who there. They ordered it all shut down, foreign involvement and domestic. And I said, well, why are you giving this to me? Well, you know why. We're giving it to you, man. This is dangerous. We can't do it. We were there. I did it. It was all true. Don't you tell me about how you're out there and you're the holy ones. No, what you do is you make shit up and then you sit there and discredit the whole thing. Now, how many of you are globalist operators? I don't know, but there's definitely people feeding this. And I gave Candace a chance to realize she's being set up, but she's doubled down. So now